Today in Grow a Garden in Roblox, it is our favorite time of the week, the first day after the update drops. As such, I add every single new pet into the list and tell you their values on the internet, and then we all cringe at this list no more than 24 hours later. If this sounds interesting to you, go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. Become part of the first 300k OGs on the channel, and let's get into the video. Isn't it fun looking at the values of all the new pets 24 hours after they're released, and then 24 hours after that, the values are all destroyed into the toilet? It's a tale as old as time, our favorite tradition. So we're going to get into the list. We're going to get into the video. I'm going to explain to you the current values of everything on this list, tell you all the things that are no longer on this list, and tell you the shocking restructure of the list. Yes, I waited this long into the video to tell you about the shocking restructure, because certain pets have fallen so far, the certain tiers on this list have new meanings. Yes. I want you to right now comment down below and tell me if you're part of the watch squad. What do I mean by the watch squad? Well, only 50% of you actually watch the video. The other 50% skip the video to the end. If you're part of the watch squad, comment down below and let me know that you're part of the watch squad. And I'm going to call out the skip squad later in this video. So without further ado, let's get to work. Oh, and as always, guys, if you know, I take the values of real world values on the internet in my list. I'm not influencing the list. I'm not putting you my opinion or presenting you my opinion. I am just reporting real world values. So if your goal is to move up the value list and get more and more valuable pets, then this list is for you. If your goal is to get pets for function or for use or for playing the game, don't worry about this list. You can use this list for acquiring them, but this is not a ranking of how useful pets are. Every single one of the brain rot meme pets, all of them, and the junk bot, all of these pets are 2-to-1 to a dragonfly. That's where they sit right now. They haven't moved in value. The dragonfly is drifting down in value. We'll talk about that soon, but they are 2-to-1 in terms of getting to a dragonfly. The Spinosaurus hasn't moved. Even with the mass hatching of primal eggs, because we can trade for pets again with shekels, and people are buying up all the small dinos with shekels and turning them into eggs with seals and creating even more primal eggs when we're supposed to not be able to. We're creating even more primal eggs and they're hatching even more Spinosauruses. The demand is meeting that new supply, and the Spinosaurus is still sitting at 3 dragonflies to a Spino right now. 3 dragonflies to a Spino. The Spino hasn't moved in value. It is rock solid right now. It's one of the few that are rock solid. The cooked owl is still cooked, sitting here at a 2-to-1 ratio for the dragonfly. Yes, that's how far the dragonfly has fallen. It is now 2-to-1 with a cooked owl, as opposed to being even worse than that. The chicken zombie is 3-to-1 to a dragonfly. Almost 4-to-1, but 3-to-1 to a dragonfly right now. Chicken zombie, how far you've fallen. The cockatrice is 4-to-1 to a dragonfly right now. It's useless and nobody wants it. Nobody wants it at all. The corrupted kitsune is 2-to-1 to a dragonfly. Yeah, that's how far the dragonfly has fallen. It's 2-to-1 to a corrupted kit. The corrupted kit has great value in public trade servers. In terms of public trades, kids still love it. Kids love the brain rot ones, but experienced traders, they don't want it. And it's getting to the point now where do they even want dragonflies anymore? What a weird world we're in right now. Poor dragonfly. French fry ferrets are 2-to-1 to a dragonfly. 2-to-1. Yeah, that's how far. Again, every time I mention that it's 2-to-1 to a dragonfly, the dragonfly just keeps plummeting. And is there a time going to come where I'm not going to use the dragonfly as a currency indicator and I'm going to use something else? Maybe. I might just skip the dragonfly and talk in terms of butterflies, because that's where things are going. Everyone was wondering and everyone was worried. Is the Pachycephalosaurus going to drop in value after the fairy event where double crafting isn't as necessary to acquire the event chests? In the current event, there's no way to use the Pachycephalosaurus for crafting. Right now, I'm using them to craft me pet pouches, double pet pouches. That's nice. But people have now learned the Pachycephalosaurus is useful for crafting. As such, also we talked about the fact that they used to be seal food. Pachycephalosaurus used to be seal food. And as such, their population dwindled like crazy. And then the demand shot up for crafting. But now people have realized they're useful, so they're not just selling them off quickly. That can change. But as of right now, they're still maintaining their value. The Pachycephalosaurus is a C tier pet, it is worth 2 dragonflies to a Pachycephalosaurus. Isn't that stupid? It's 2 dragonflies to a Pachycephalosaurus. Honestly, in terms of real world value, that shows you how far the dragonfly has fallen. That shows you how few Pachycephalosaurus exist in the wild. That shows you how much demand it had and still kind of has. It's a strange, strange world we live in, but I am here to report the values. I am not here to tell you my opinion. I will offer my opinion, but that's the value, and it's really strange. The Phoenix continues to plummet. It is 2 to a dragonfly right now. I think I also saw the Phoenix got nerfs. Yeah, it's one of those divines like the French fry ferret and like the cockatrice and like many other divines that just plummeted from supply, and here we are. The disco bee continues to fall as we use seals to do the anti-bee method. They're buying up like wasps and stuff and selling them for seals to get more anti-bee egg. Sorry, apparently I need more coffee in me. Yep, I definitely need more coffee in me. As such, it continues to drop in value. It took a significant hit today or recently. We are approaching 2 disco bees to a raccoon territory. We're not there yet, but wow, we're getting close. At the rate we're dropping, the disco bee might approach 2 disco bees to a raccoon territory maybe next weekend. But as of right now, we're not there yet. It's an overpay, 2 disco bees to a raccoon, but wow, we're getting close. The griffin is in 3 to a dragonfly range, right? With the, with the chicken bee. Chicken jockey, chicken zombie. 3 to a dragonfly range. And now we get to talk about the dragonfly. It's time. The time has come. The dragonfly is a D tier pet. It's down. It is down. It is down. Almost value for value equal to the queen bee. They're almost neck and neck. The queen bee hasn't moved. Guys, I repeat, the queen bee has not moved in value in multiple weeks. It has been rock solid in its valuation. The dragonfly has plummeted to be barely over the queen bee in value. This is because of seals and koi and the fact that we can trade shekels. Also, the fact that we're getting bug eggs in the event, so we're just getting more random little bugs flying around. The bug eggs we receive in the mutations in the admin event is a drop in the water compared to all the people with 15-second peacocks and all the people who do the online value thing. I'm not going to talk about it, but it's the online value thing. And they use the peacocks that they have and the bald eagles that they have to hatch eggs in mere minutes. And then all the little bugs they get, they sell for seals and the koi to keep them on the field. And they increase the population of the dragonfly. And then they come to you, little Billy, and they offer you quintillions and sextillions of shekels for your little caterpillars and all your little bugs. And they go, thank you for the bugs. And they sell them with seals on the field and get more eggs back. And they hatch even more eggs. Endlessly for forever. All because the raccoon gives them infinite shekels and they can trade those shekels to buy your pets. And then they sell them to seals and they get more eggs and they hatch those eggs and the koi keeps the eggs on the field and the seals makes more eggs over and over endlessly for forever. As such, the dragonfly has plummeted in value. It is now worth a queen bee. There are multiple ways we could have stopped this. We could have not allowed trading shekels for pets, but that feels bad for the average player. We could have gutted the raccoon, 4 weeks ago. But we didn't. And then the raccoon farmed the 744 trillion honeysuckle. Remember that? But even that is a drop in the pond. That is nothing compared to the raccoon farming the quintillion-sized bone blossoms we got from the Nihon bug. The raccoon is just... don't even get me started. As such, that's the value of the dragonfly right now. It is down in the D tier along with the queen bee. It's hilarious. It's unfortunate. It's literally a world where 2 dragonflies can get you a Pachycephalosaurus in terms of real-world value. It's so weird. Moving on, I blabbed enough about that. Bald eagle has dropped a bit. It is down into the top of E tier. It's not quite 2 bald eagles to a dragonfly. That's an overpay basically, but that's kind of where it's at right now. The butterfly has dropped in value as well. Again, seals and koi and anti-bee eggs and et cetera, et cetera. Same thing for the disco bee, but its demand is keeping it up and not by much. The butterfly is still a B tier pet. It is still above the Spino, but the difference between the butterfly and the Spino is not even a dragonfly anymore. The difference between the butterfly and the Spino is basically a bald eagle in value. The difference between the butterfly and the dragonfly is almost 4 dragonflies. 4 dragonflies to the butterfly. That's where it is right now. The Brontosaurus is holding its value. It's at the bottom of D tier. It's pretty close to the bald eagle. It's right at the bottom of D tier. Useful pet, great pet, especially when they're heavy enough, or rainbow. Regular seals are down here in this range unless you have heavy enough ones, and you can go to find a calculator to figure out how heavy your seal needs to be of value to you. The T-Rex is also now down in the D tier. It's worth more than a dragonfly. The difference is small. The difference is like a cockatrice in value, but the T-Rex is down in the D tier. Again, the seals, the koi, the using the shekels to buy more little dinos, to make more eggs, to make more T-Rexes, on and on and on. It's just, man, seals and koi, it's great, but man, huge pets. Yo, if you're part of Watch Squad and you've watched this far into the video, congratulations. You're about to learn something. I am done talking about huge pets. Honestly, the huge pet market is so complicated and so convoluted, it's impossible to talk about because there are now almost 150 pets in the game, which means there's 150 huge pets in the game, and 150 Titanic pets in the game, and 150 godly pets in the game, and they're all worth different things, and I don't know all the values. If you have a huge pet, go on to Google, search for websites where you can find pets for real world value. You can use those websites to figure out how much a huge pet may be valued. And on those same websites, you can figure out how much a butterfly is valued, how much a dragonfly is valued, how much a disco bee is valued, how much a kitsune is valued. And that can help you figure out how much your huge pet might be valued in comparison to all these other pets. And then you can go to Discord trading servers and try and figure out what your pet could be valued at. But ultimately, if you have a huge pet or a Titanic pet, that is something valuable, and that is your responsibility to figure out. I am here to help the casual player. I am not here to help the professional player. So if you have huge pets or Titanic pets, you can go and figure it out. And if you're part of Watch Squad, you're hearing me say that. If you're part of Skip Squad, you're not going to see huge pet on this list, and you're going to get mad at me and wonder what happened to the huge pets. And that's how I know you're part of Skip Squad. So huge pet we're keeping down here. I'm no longer talking about them. That's in your own category. Do your own research. Figure it out. Kois are down in the 2-to-1 ratio for the dragonfly. Useful. If you can get heavy ones, awesome. But getting heavy ones is impossible. I think they cap out at like 1.34 kilograms. The Raiju, I don't think it has much demand. I mean, it's up here in the bottom of D tier. It's worth not much more than the other E tier pets, but it has a locked in limited supply. So it's not really moving at all. They're hard to trade. I wouldn't use them for trade bait. Ascended pets, don't get me started. These are so hard to trade now. Their value continues to drop. They're now officially below the Fennec Fox in value. The difference between the Fennec Fox and the butterfly. The difference between the Fennec Fox and the butterfly is a C tier pet in value, which I currently haven't shown you much of. So that's how much the difference is. Wow, actually the difference is 2 dragonflies. The difference between the Fennec Fox and the butterfly is 2 dragonflies. Man, the dragonflies dropped. Ascended pets, don't trade to acquire them to try and move up the trade value list. If you hatch one, congratulations, you get some value. Go ahead and try and get stuff for it, but they're really hard to move. Fennec Foxes, I'm not familiar with how well they trade. You can comment down below and give me some thoughts on that. Blood Owls, bottom of D tier, being outclassed by the Wisp now, but the Wisp is harder to acquire. I don't know how many are in circulation. Lobster, bottom of D tier, great effects, not much demand for it. It's kind of holding steady right there. Red Fox is in the 3-to-1 range, 3-to-1 to a dragonfly, a bit less than that, but basically, you know, it's a junk pet. Mimic octopuses are also down in D tier alongside the T-Rex, alongside the dragonfly. The dragonfly is worth less than the other two. T-Rex and Mimic are about equal. The difference between the Mimic / T-Rex and the dragonfly is the equivalent of a cockatrice, so like there's not much difference. Mimics are being farmed like crazy because there are 3 pets in its egg that are valuable as huge and Titanic. You've got the capybara, the peacock, and the Mimic, where people all want those as huge or Titanic. And as such, people are hatching the egg like crazy using seals and kois and all the methods we talked about before. So it's being farmed like crazy. Its value, even with its demand, continues to drop. Blood hedgehogs, in terms of real world value, are basically worth almost a dragonfly. Again, because they have a locked in supply. The supply is not increasing. People want 8 of them for methods. So when you're acquiring them, you're acquiring 8 of them, and as such, its value is holding rock solid while the dragonfly continues to have an increase in supply and plummet. It's so weird. In real world value, the difference between a blood hedgehog and a dragonfly is almost nothing. It's almost nothing. Like, they're almost identical. My goodness, what's happened to the dragonfly? The blood kiwi is holding up barely the bottom of D tier. It's basically an E tier pet. It's being outshined by the bald eagle, but Why is the bald eagle less right this second? I don't know. That's just where it is right now. I value the bald eagle way more. Golden goose is down in the 3-to-1 range for a dragonfly. And now we're getting into the fun stuff. The raccoon is still holding solid in its valuation. It is at the very tippy top of A tier, no longer an S tier. As I mentioned earlier, it's almost 2 disco beasts to a raccoon. As of right now, that's not the case. It's trending that way. It is more than 3 butterflies to a raccoon. It is 3 butterflies and a dragonfly to a raccoon. It is a bit more than 4 Spinosauruses to a raccoon right now. And it is a little bit more than 2 raccoons to a kitsune right now. 2 raccoons and a dragonfly. Yeah, 2 raccoons and a dragonfly to a kitsune is right there. 2 raccoons and a T-Rex, 2 raccoons and a mimic right there. That's perfect. Spot on value for the kitsune. Now we're going to talk about the 3 shop pets that have a low population from the last event. And I'm going to tell you where they are now and what I think is going to happen to them because they do have a low supply and varying demand. The drake has dropped into the C tier. It is worth a little bit more than 2 dragonflies to a drake. The drake is an interesting one. Cooking is not a really big focus right now. In the future, if it does become a focus, that can change the demand for it. I still see it drifting lower. The luminous sprite is right in lockstep with the dragonfly in terms of value. It's right there. It's perfect. I don't see much of an increase in luminous sprite demand anytime soon. We were given luminous sprays as well, but currently it's locked in value with the dragonfly. The wisp is almost 3 dragonflies. And that's kind of interesting to me because the wisp is a better blood owl. It is 25% better than the blood owl, assuming equal weight. And it has a really low supply. The only problem is you need the wisp well or multiple wisp wells. I'm getting mixed reports. Some people are claiming 1 is enough. Some people are claiming you need multiple. So if people don't have multiple wisp wells, they're not going to be interested in acquiring multiple wisps for the purposes of leveling up pets. So I'm not sure how the demand for this is going to shake out. Maybe one day the developers unlink the wisp from the wisp well, allowing players to just use wisps without the well, and that might increase its demand in the future. But as of right now, it's 3 dragonflies. Finally, it is time to talk about all the brand new pets. First up, we have the robin. It's not even on the list. I could not find any website that listed the robin. None of them. They all like collectively, they just all decided this thing's so common, no one's going to want to acquire it. So the robin has literally no value. I couldn't find a single one. And as always, my warning, wherever I place pets today, being Sunday morning at like early in the morning, not even lunchtime yet, within 4 hours, this could change. Within 8 hours, this could change. In 24 hours, this will definitely change. Multiple days from now, this is going to change. So make sure you check the date when you're watching this video before you look at where I place these pets and go, and get mad at me. The badger is in the C tier. It is basically 2-ish dragonflies to a badger right now. That's going down. The badger's not a good pet. I don't see much of use for it. It's going down. And if you try and rip people off with these brand new pets using my name and using my tier list, I'm just going to not like you. Just to make that clear. But on the flip side, I want to educate people so that they don't get ripped off. It's a catch-22. I can't educate people to prevent them from getting ripped off without giving people ammunition to rip people off with. It's impossible. The chipmunk is also in the 2 to a dragonfly or 2 dragonflies to a chipmunk range. This one's interesting because if you get enough of them, you can have free harvest tools. And also the supply is not guaranteed. All of these shop pets have a low supply. So it's really interesting. The badger doesn't. I don't understand. But the chipmunk has a shop supply and a low shop supply, a non-guaranteed shop supply, and an effect that gives you infinite harvest tools. Is that useful? I don't know. That's what's valued right now. Where is it going? Probably down. Assume they're all going down. Just assume they're all going down. The grizzly bear is also in the 2 dragonflies to a grizzly bear range. It's not a guaranteed hatch. It's a 10% chance from the egg, but we're day 1 in this. The value is going down. The marmot is already down in the dragonfly range. People have realized they're just not fond of the marmot. The marmot's going to be off this list before you know it. The red squirrel is barely holding up the bottom of C tier currently. I don't know if people have discovered exactly how to use the red squirrel's ability yet. The developers probably had a plan when they put it into place, and we haven't quite discovered its usefulness yet. This is where things get a little bit odd, and you'll see why they get a little bit odd as you go through these next pets. The sugar glider is also here, right in this range. It's just dead equal with all these other pets in the 2 dragonflies to 1 range. I don't know how that's going to stand for moving forward because it has a T-Rex-like effect. So having multiples of these is useful for spreading multiple mutations all throughout your garden. And it's not always in shop, and it's a mythical, and it's hard to get in the shop, But I've done 80 or so blooms and I'm sitting on like 3 or 4 of them. So they're not like super rare. I don't know. I'm curious to see what this is going to do in the future. The barn owl is up in the B tier. It's worth a bit more than a Spino as of right now. This is the pet I'm really curious to see how it does moving forward. You want to stack multiples of these so that future shop pets, which we already talked about having strange value because you can no longer, a shop pet cannot be infinite egg hatched for forever using seals and koi and buying pets for shekels, etc. So shop pets always have a limited supply, and this pet makes shop pets heavier, i.e. better and more valuable. And you're going to want multiples of these to get to that 3 kilogram cap. So I think the barn owl is going to be the most valuable pet coming out of this event because it has probably the most useful effect, and you need multiples of them. And it's a 1.5% chance out of an egg. So that's my guess right now. The barn owl is going to trend down from here on out. We have 2 weeks of hatching it, but as of right now, this is where it is. The space squirrel is also in the two dragonflies to a space squirrel range. Like, they're all the same. Like, they're all the same right now. I don't know why, because space squirrels are harder to acquire than the glider, that are harder to acquire than the regular, what is that thing? Chipmunk? Yeah. But they're all relatively equal in value right now. I don't know why. Just assume they're all dropping right now. And the swan is also in that range. Seriously, I checked multiple sites. All of this was shocking. All of these pets are in the 2 dragonfly to 1 of them range. So what are you going to do with that information? I don't know. Good luck. Every single one of the pets in this event are destined to drop from here on out. It's inevitable. I personally would not trade to acquire one of these, any of these. The only pet I might ever consider trading to acquire is the barn owl. Because if I had my army of barn owls, I could use them to get heavier squirrels and heavier squirrels and heavier squirrels. So if I wanted heavier squirrels for better effects, I might go out and acquire the barn owls now. But as for the rest of the other pets, I'm in no rush to acquire them. If I unlock them in the shops, great. If I hatch them, great. But in terms of trading for them, as always, if you're trying to maximize value in your trades, do not acquire new pets until 2 weeks go by. You do not want to acquire any of these pets until 2 weeks go by, because then you're going to see their real value. If you're part of the skip squad and you skip the whole video and you're wondering anything about the video, why things are ranked where they are, rewind the video and go listen to me talk about any of the pets you have questions about. If you disagree with anything in this list, rewind the video and listen to me talk about that pet you disagree with. If you still disagree with me, it's okay to be wrong. I'm just reporting the values on the internet of real world value. If you have different trade experiences with any of these pets, congratulations. You either lost the trade or won the trade. If you used your dragonfly and you traded for a Spino, congratulations, you won the trade. If you traded your butterfly 1-to-1 for a space squirrel, congratulations, you lost the trade. These are the real world values as of the making of the video. Expect it to change shortly after I make the video. Expect it to change hours from now. Expect it to change multiple days from now. Hopefully you found this video useful. Hopefully it was valuable. If it was, go ahead and comment down below and let me know. Hit that red subscribe button. Become part of the first 300K OGs on the channel. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.